Even as the forest attempted to absorb Mira completely, a faint human spark remained buried deep within her consciousness, glowing quietly like an ember under ash. While roots wrapped around her limbs and ancestral voices pressed against her mind, one memory refused to dissolve: the sound of her mother calling her name at dusk. That single echo disrupted the forest's rhythm, causing the heartwood tree to tremble. The forest had taken many souls before, but never one who clung so fiercely to love. For the first time in centuries, the forest hesitated. Within the swirling memory realm, Mira heard it again, clearer this time. Her mother's voice did not whisper like the ancestors, it spoke with warmth, urgency, and pain. "You are not meant to disappear," it said. The voice cut through centuries of sorrow embedded in the forest, cracking open walls of memory. Mira collapsed to her knees, clutching her chest as tears fell for the first time since her merging began. The forest recoiled slightly, unfamiliar with resistance fueled not by fear, but by love. Mira opened her eyes to find herself in a vast realm made of memories instead of land. Thousands of ancestor spirits spiraled around her like constellations, each whispering pieces of their life stories. Some begged for forgiveness, others demanded justice, and many simply wailed for recognition. Mira tried to speak, but her voice sounded like leaves rustling in the wind. She was no longer fully human. The spirits pressed closer, merging into her, turning her into the central vessel that stored all their truths. As her individuality thinned, Mira realized the forest had always wanted this: a single consciousness to carry everything. Mira stood tall despite the roots still clinging to her legs and spoke aloud, her human voice returning in fragile bursts. She offered a new pact: not to become the forest, but to become its bridge. She would carry its memories back to the world, tell its stories, protect it through human understanding rather than eternal imprisonment. The heartwood tree pulsed uncertainly, testing the sincerity of her promise. The spirits of Mira's ancestors gathered around her, no longer whispering in chaos but standing in solemn silence. One by one, they stepped forward, touching her forehead, her hands, her heart. They transferred fragments of memory not to overwhelm her, but to trust her. The burden grew lighter as it became shared. The forest exhaled. With a deep, echoing groan, the roots binding Mira cracked and withdrew into the soil. The sensation was painful yet freeing, like regaining circulation after being numb for too long. Mira collapsed onto the forest floor, fully human once more, gasping for breath as the forest light dimmed to a gentler glow. She was no longer claimed. Before releasing her completely, the heartwood tree extended one glowing branch and pressed a seed into Mira's palm. This seed carried memories not to consume her, but to be planted when the forest needed her again. "You will remember us," the forest said, "and we will remember you." The bond shifted from prison to promise. Mira walked through the forest path for what felt like hours, though time no longer behaved normally there. Trees parted respectfully as she passed, no longer whispering her name possessively but humming softly like a farewell song. She did not forget the forest. Every step carried awareness, responsibility, and reverence. At the forest edge, Mira collapsed into her mother's arms as searchers cried out in disbelief. Dirt-streaked, exhausted, but alive, she clung tightly, terrified the moment might vanish. Her mother held her like someone who had already mourned her once. Neither spoke. They didn't need to. Weeks later, Mira struggled with ordinary life: school noise, laughter, routine after touching something eternal. She woke at night hearing leaves rustle where walls stood. But she wrote everything down, filling notebooks with stories of the forest, its pain, its history, its warnings. Mira returned to the forest with permission from village elders and planted the glowing seed near the heartwood's roots. The ground shimmered as it accepted the offering. This time, no roots grabbed her. The forest trusted her. The forest stabilized, not aggressive, not fading, but balanced. Wildlife returned. Streams flowed clearer. The land no longer fed on lost souls, it fed on care. Mira watched from afar, smiling softly. Mira grew into her role as a storyteller and protector, sharing the forest's history with schools, villages, and elders. People listened because her eyes carried truth. The forest's memories lived on without imprisonment. One evening, the forest whispered her name again, but softly, kindly. Mira smiled, understanding the difference now. This time, it was not calling her back. It was saying thank you. Mira realized redemption did not mean destruction or surrender, it meant responsibility. The forest was alive, but so was she. Neither had to vanish for the other to exist. Years passed. Mira grew older, but the forest remained. Children visited on guided paths. Stories were told. Boundaries were respected. The forest remembered, and was remembered. Deep within the heartwood tree, Myra's name was etched into its rings, not as a prisoner, not as a sacrifice, but as the one human who listened. The forest still whispered names, but only to those who were meant to hear them, and only to guide, never to trap again.